Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the podcast. Today we are out on location. We're out of the studio and we're going on the farm today. What are we doing on a farm? Well, we're going to find out because we have Miss Alex Meyers with Firefly Farm, and we also have, who do we have here?
This is Daisy. Oh my goodness,
Daisy, that's right, it's Daisy.
She wanted to be part of the podcast here too,
right.
I guess.
Yep. Alex Meyers, Firefly Farm.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for coming. I'm so excited to have you guys out here.
We've been really excited about this. Of course, my wife Amy has known you for many years now and seen what you're doing up here, and it's really fascinating. A lot of good things coming.
Yeah.
A lot of good things that are going on.
Yeah. I'm super excited about this, and just kind of we've come a very long way, and as we kind of are opening up and becoming bigger and starting to do more things, it's really cool to see the vision come to life.
Definitely. Well, let's take it back a little bit. So how did this all start for you and your family?
So my husband's always loved animals, and he grew up in Falston. They had a little bit of land and stuff like that, and that's kind of always been his dream to have a little bit of land. 2021, so a year into COVID, we decided that was something that we wanted to do. We lived in the town of Bel Air right there at that time, and it was just super cramped. He wanted to, make sure his mom was going to be taken care of, so we were like, let's get a place that she can come and live with us, and that we, can have some land and, maybe some animals and things like that. So we got this place 4 years ago. We spent the first 2 years turning a barn into a barndominium, so that she could live in there. And then after that, we started kind of upgrading our animal area. So we originally had 2 goats, and then 3 goats, and then 4 goats, and now we've got a lot of things. But during COVID, I was an ICU nurse, and going back further than that, I've always suffered with depression and anxiety my entire life. It's been a thing. I've been in and out of therapy. It's something that I've been working really hard on. And after COVID, and then just lots of life things happening, I just found myself in a really bad place. And my job was offering free therapy sessions, but it was all telehealth. So I was like, okay, whatever, as long as I'm doing something.
Sure.
So I started taking the telehealth visits out here, and I would start hanging out with the goats and petting the goats and stuff like that whilst I was on the phone. And I was like, oh my God, this is so amazing. This is better than going to a clinic and having just one-on-one with the therapist. This is actually really cool. I don't know if you've ever heard of EMDR therapy.
I have, yes, but go ahead, explain it for the people that don't know.
Essentially, it's taking a bad traumatic experience and putting it with another stimulation, so that when it's brought up again, you're not kind of re-triggered by it.
Okay.
And it's a way for your subconscious to kind of process it. And there's a whole big process to doing the therapy, and I've done that a lot to deal with some past traumas and things like that, and it's been very beneficial for me. But when I was coming out here and petting the goats, I was like, wow, this is just about as good as doing an EMDR session. This is really cool. And so my original dream was you know what, it'd be really cool if I had a little pergola with some couches, and the therapist could come out and just sit, and they could just talk with their clients, and they could feed the goats or whatever whilst they're talking. And so that's kind of where the idea was born.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to my sister about it, and she's really big into research and stuff like that. And so after she did some research, she's like, that sounds a lot like care farming. And I was like, what is care farming? And so care farming is something that's really big up in Europe and other countries, but it's just started to kind of take root in the United States. So they have a care farming network that has kind of put together all the care farms within the United States, and it's an amazing resource for care farms. But essentially, it's using the benefits of animals and nature and community to help individuals with either mental health issues or disabilities through the farm. And so I was just like, yes, that's exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where it was like, okay, let's do a care farm. And so we've kind of, I reached out to one of the local, not super local, but she's in Delaware, so it's like 45 minutes away, Grateful Acres. I reached out to her and I was like, hey, like I'm thinking about doing a care farm. I'd love to come and visit yours and ask you some questions. So like I went out there, met with her, and she was fantastic. She really helped me a lot, kind of getting an idea on like what I needed to do, because like I'm a nurse, I'm not a business person.
Okay.
So like I don't know how to start a business. I don't know what goes into this.
Sure.
And I'm still trying to figure it out.
I don't think you ever have it completely figured out.
Yeah, it's been a totally learning experience, to go from like, okay, this is an idea, and then like, okay, what do I need to do in order to make this happen?
Right.
And so she was really helpful in getting that kind of started. And the Care Farming Network, they have like videos on how to start your care farm, for-profit versus non-profit, like, and Cecil Agriculture reached out to me, and they have been another like phenomenal resource for me, and just getting a hold of people at zoning. And they also have a program through, I think it's through Maryland, I'm not sure if it's Cecil or just Maryland, where actually a lady came out and she helped do all of the research for my business plan.
Okay.
Like all of like the community needs and stuff like that. So like that was amazing, and it's all funded through a grant. So like she just was able to help me. She gave me like a blueprint of like how to fill in my business plan and how to make a business plan. And once I was done with that, I like sent it back to her, and she like gave me tweaks for it. And they have like legal, where you can get time with like attorneys so that you can ask them like questions and stuff like that. So it's a really cool resource.
Like all these people are falling into place to help you
do this
vision that you've had.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
And then, my husband, thank God he loves me, because he's, he's the other thing that's like helping like build other things. Because, one of the biggest things to opening is we needed a bathroom somewhere where people could go to the bathroom. So he like built me my outhouse, and, he's helped build the fences and, get ready for the different barns and do all of the different things. So it's been, a big thing. And then, just me trying to figure out, okay, how do we do this? How do we make this work?
Yeah.
So we're still kind of working on that. Right now we're doing it where we're kind of doing partnerships with different people, and then they're coming in. So like Phoenix Therapies Plus, they come on Fridays. They have a speech and occupational therapist that come out, and their patients do their therapy here on the farm. And it's amazing to see these kiddos learning the skills of speaking and, moving their hands and doing things like that by interacting with the animals, and doing things like going and picking carrots in the garden and then coming over and feeding the animals.
Right.
So it's just totally different than your typical going to a clinic and doing that. So it's definitely really cool to kind of see how the vision changed from a little pergola,
to all this.
Yeah.
And so you started with 2 goats.
Yep.
And now, where are we right now? We have how many
my daughter
goats?
loves it because we have like 6 or 7 goats.
Okay.
7 goats?
I think I counted at least 7. So
I'm not sure.
So you're not even sure.
Not
Okay,
even
that's
sure.
awesome.
It's like 6 or 7.
Okay.
And then we've got too many horses. We've got 2 big thoroughbreds who are off the track thoroughbreds, so they've both raced. And then we have a lot of chickens. We've got a Highland cow and a donkey.
Yes.
And we just got our neighbor gave us a duck the other day, and then because the duck couldn't be alone, we ended up with some ducklings and a chicken who hatched the ducklings. So
the surrogate
we
parents.
just keep growing.
We just keep growing.
Yes.
And so, I mean, there are animals out there that, like the race horses who have now since retired.
Yep.
And it's awesome that they have a place that they can come to.
Yeah.
And retire and relax and rest.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, I do make them work sometimes, but
Okay.
We like it.
Well, I'm sure running a farm, everybody's got to get involved. You were talking about your husband.
Yep.
You have kids.
Yep, I've got kids.
And they're working on the farm.
They're working on the farm.
And then you have other people, a mom, mother-in-law, they're all involved in all of this. You have other people coming in.
Yeah.
Like, It almost reminds me of the movie We Bought a Zoo with Matt
A little
Damon.
bit, yeah.
Right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's what you've done here.
Yeah.
And you've created. So you started to go into a little bit of organizations that have come out. Tell me about different kind of people, the different types of therapy or the different types of things that you are providing here at the farm.
Yep. So for right now, we have Phoenix Therapies Plus, and then we also have Revival for Recovery, which is a nonprofit recovery program in Hartford, based in Hartford County. They're doing once a month meetings here at the farm. So their first time they came out, they met the animals, they did like a little circle area, we planted some flowers, and then this last time they came out, they did some trauma-informed yoga, sorry.
Yeah.
And then they, again, spent some time with the animals and just kind of community with each other, being, 28 ladies all in recovery.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. I'm still looking for some more therapists. I am still looking for like the therapist that wants to come out and meet their clients here. I have a couple people interested, and we're planning on having them come out and do things. We did an event with the Soul Lift where we did a sound bath in the pool, which was amazing. I never realized how much tension I carried in my jaw until after that, and like afterwards I was like, oh my gosh, like my mouth, like every muscle in my body relaxed. So like I highly recommend sound baths. They are amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're hoping to do some more with that. The lady who came out and did the trauma-informed yoga, she's hoping to start having yoga sessions here with people.
Now, will goats be involved with this yoga? I hear there's a trend going around with goat yoga.
Yes. So hopefully when we have some little babies, we can do some goat yoga.
Okay.
They got a lot of, our other babies loved jumping on the back of Phoebe and Dolly when they were younger. So we're hoping the new sets of baby goats will like to do the same, and maybe we can throw some people in there. So we'll just kind of see on when we end up with the babies and kind of how it plays out. But yeah, I'm hoping to do some goat yoga for sure.
Good,
I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, definitely. Where does the name Firefly Farm come from?
So when we were gonna buy a farm, we were just talking about like random like names of farms and like what we would want to name our farm when we bought the farm. Before we even got this place, we were talking about names, and I liked the name Firefly Farm. I was like, say that 10 times fast. And I just liked the name of it, and so it just like everybody in the family was like, yeah, we like that, So that's kind of the name we decided on. And then we moved here, and I have never seen so many fireflies in my life.
Really?
Like,
so you
we had no idea.
Yeah.
No idea. But like it would literally be like at nighttime, like some of the trees, like it literally looked like there was Christmas lights on the trees because of all the fireflies. And like on the grass and in the fields and everywhere, like there were just so many fireflies. So we're like, this is really cool. Like, we actually have fireflies on Firefly Farm.
Oh my gosh.
So it was really cool just to see all the fireflies and stuff like that. And then as we started, trying to kind of figure out like, okay, what are we going to name the care farm? I was like, well, we're Firefly Farm. And then I really liked Find Your Light. So that's kind of our slogan.
That's awesome.
We're Firefly Farm, and we want people to come here and find their light. And so that's just kind of what it is, and it just kind of all really went perfectly together.
Yes.
And we totally didn't mean for it to. But it all just kind of really came together.
But I genuinely believe when you put that thought out into, say, the universe or whatever, that all these things just kind of, the people that you need to be introduced to, and the concepts and the slogan and the name, it all just kind of flows together. It's like, this was meant to be, this was serendipitous.
Yeah. So, and I am hoping that, one of my future goals is to do a nonprofit portion of the farm. And then that portion will be Find Your Light.
Yes.
And so that will be the nonprofit, and what we're hoping to do with that is offer a sliding scale therapy to individuals. Right now there is such a lack of mental health professionals out there. And then, then it depends on what insurance you take, and if they don't take insurance, then it's self-pay, and it's expensive. And, from somebody who's been in therapy on and off my entire life. It's something that, you can't just do once a month or once every once in a while. Like, it needs to be consistent
Absolutely.
for a period of time. And if you're self-pay and it's, $150, $200 a week, like, that's really expensive, and a lot of people can't afford that.
Right.
And so, my goal is to have a program in place so that everybody can get the benefits of the farm,
Yes.
regardless of how much money they have. My hope is that I can eventually, once I find my therapist, we can do, some kind of program with the nonprofit so that they can offer a sliding scale to individuals. So based off of their income, they will pay however much. So, a session might be like $5 or $10
Sure.
or $20, just based off of what they can afford. So that way they're able to get the resources that they need.
So important.
Yeah.
So important. When it comes to a day in the life, I mean, I look around here and I just see so much work. I don't know how, there's not enough hours in the day to do everything that you would need to do around here. What does a day in the life of a person working here, such as yourself and your family, what does that look like?
So it is a lot, but it's not as much as you might think.
Okay.
So, a lot of this stuff can be done once a week or twice a week, so a lot of the things aren't done every single day.
Okay.
There are things that do have to get done every day. So usually in the morning, first thing we do is we feed the horses.
What time are you waking up in the morning?
So I usually wake up around 7. I also have to put my kid on the bus, so I usually get up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm lucky again. Thank God my husband loves me, because he'll usually gets up and he feeds the horses and then goes to work.
Okay, so maybe I should say,
He wakes
when
up
does he
at
wake
4.
up? 4, okay. That
be at work
needs
by
to,
6.
okay.
Yeah, to be at work by 6. But he's a morning person.
Yes.
He wakes up even on his days off that early. Even before
Yep.
we had a farm, he was waking up that early. So it's nothing new for him. But yeah, so he'll get up, he'll feed, he'll usually feed the horses. And then when I get up, I'll let them out of their stall. The 2 big ones anyways, and the little ones will already be out. And then I come down, I'll give Phoebe and Dolly some food and the goats a little bit. And then I usually, get my youngest one up and on the bus, and then I'll come back and I'll muck the stalls, at least for the 2 big horses. And then usually then I'm doing some kind of thing, hopefully doing a Firefly Farm event.
Yep.
If not, I might be mowing the grass or, just doing one of those projects that don't necessarily need to be done every day, but
Right.
at some point in time needs to be done. So I'll do whatever that needs to be done. And then usually evening, 5 or 6 o'clock at night, we feed the animals again, put the chickens in, put the horses in, feed them, and then call it a night.
Wow. And so that's your typical day on the farm, but now you're a full-time registered nurse too. What? Do you clone yourself? How does that work?
I don't know.
But you have a lot of helping hands, right?
I do have a lot of helping hands. So like I said, my husband does a lot to help out with the farm. And then my mom as well, she's been amazing. She'll come out and muck stalls and help with the animals and horses and, cows and all that stuff too. So it really is, a group effort to get everything done. And the thing is as long as they're fed, they're happy.
Right.
It's good. So it's okay if, you didn't get to muck the stall as clean as you would have liked, but
Right.
It's just one of those things, and we all really do work together, and it works out well.
That's awesome. I know my wife has already volunteered herself and some of my kids to come
Yep.
up so that they can get that therapy that they need
Yep.
while working with the animals. And I tell you honestly, there was something calming that came over me when I was just focused on the goat and brushing the goat or brushing the donkey. It's almost like you're so zoomed into taking care of them that you're not worrying about your own issues, your own problems.
Yeah, it really is so amazing just being with the animals and doing the things with them. Is much as there is stuff, I always I love mucking stalls because it's quiet time and it's just me and I can do it, and there's just something calming about it, and then also rewarding about it, because it's a quick easy thing and then it looks so good, you know. And so it's something that I really enjoy doing, which is weird, but it's something I do enjoy doing. And same thing with brushing the animals and spending time with them and stuff like that. It is just something so calming about it. And again, like, that's the reason why I wanted to do these things. Like, it's like, this is so cool and this is so amazing. And it's helped me so much mentally.
Right.
I was like, I have to share this. Like, I can't just keep this for myself. I have to share this with other people.
Right.
And that's really why I'm doing this, is because I want to share that, because it is such an amazing thing.
Yeah. What are some things that you're looking to do in the near future to grow the farm, to create more opportunities? Talk a little bit about, you know, what's in the cards for Firefly Farm.
So one of the things, I actually had a meeting with a local nonprofit last week, and we're hoping to try to put together a thing for like high schoolers who are looking for volunteer hours, so that they can come to the farm to get their volunteer hours. Again, getting the benefit of being around the animals and stuff like that, especially for ones that might be interested in maybe going into animal care or anything like that, or just wanting to do something outside, or just wanting to get their hours done.
Right.
But we're looking to hopefully team up together and have it be more than just volunteer hours, where we can also include things like resume writing or interviewing, or you know, just other things that we can add on to that can help them on in life after they graduate, that they don't cover in school, or they just do a little bit in school. And so, you know, and again, just forming the connections and stuff like that, and honestly learning how to work too. You know, also want to do a volunteer program for individuals with disabilities who want to learn how to do these skills and do these things, or want to spend time with animals and things like that, so that they can, you know, enjoy this and do these kinds of things. We did have All About Me adult day program out this past week.
Okay.
They had 12 of their members come out to the farm and see the animals and stuff like that, and it was really cool to see them coming out and hanging out with the animals. And one of them kept trying to train one of the goats, and it was so fun to watch. And I was like, this would be really cool. You know, I told him, I was like, you're gonna have to come and volunteer and help me out.
Right.
You know, but a lot of times, like, they have issues with finding jobs and working, and but they want to do things, and so, you know, trying to come up with like a program where they can come out and they can learn a skill and they can enjoy it, hopefully, and, you know, get something out of it as well.
It's got to be very rewarding for you to see people come up, especially people that haven't experienced the farm life like myself, to be able to appreciate it, and you're kind of seeing it through their eyes, the joy that this kind of thing brings people.
Yeah, and I love it. Like, that is literally, like, you know, when they all left, I was like, I told my mom, I was like, this makes my heart so happy. Like, seeing their faces and seeing how much they enjoy this, like, this is why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Like, I love that so much. I love sharing this, and I love seeing people be able to interact and be able to do these things that they probably wouldn't do. You know, like, they can go to the zoo and stuff like that, but they don't get that one-on-one experience where they're in with them and they're learning about them, and, you know, they're learning, how do you brush a horse, and how do you pick their hooves, and, you know, this is how you feed them, and like, and that kind of thing.
Don't put your hand in one of their mouths.
Don't put your hand in the horse's mouth.
Right. I
they
learned
will bite.
That was the first thing I learned when I got here today.
Yes, they will bite.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I understand that there's an opportunity for some bonfires.
Yes.
Up here as well. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So one of the things that we are, because I do get questions a lot about, like, hey, can we just come visit your farm and stuff like that. So one of the things that we are doing is bonfires on the farm. So we have our bonfire area, and what kind of it includes, it's an hour and a half on the farm. So it's for up to 6 people, and you come out to the farm. We do like 30 to 45 minutes of interactive time with the animals. So going in with the goat, feeding them, feeding the Highland cow, feeding the horses. I usually bring out either coconut or forest, and like learning, how do you brush a horse? How do you pick the hooves? And then after we've kind of hung out with all the animals and everybody's, you know, said hi and everybody's nice and stuffed with treats, we offer, you know, they're allowed to bring like a picnic dinner if they want, or picnic lunch, depending on when they're doing it.
Yeah.
They can have have their picnic, and then we give them some more stuff, and they get to have some s'mores on the fire and just kind of hang out. So whether it's a family or friends, you know, just getting some quality time together, it's so nice versus like going to a restaurant where there's lots of noise and people talking and stuff like that, where you can actually be like mobile and walking around and getting to interact with the animals and just being in this environment.
Right.
And so that's one of the things that we are offering here at the farm. So if people are interested, it is listed on our Facebook page. They can call or text or message, and we can get that set up.
That's awesome. And I also hear that there might be a budding author.
Yes.
Maybe a mother and daughter authorship going on. What's going on there?
Yeah, so I'm so excited about this. So me and my daughter, Nora, are working on writing some books, and they are all based off of our farm animals. And I have a awesome illustrator who's going to help bring our farm animals to life, and farm like the whole environment to life, so that when you open the books and you come to the farm, you're like, oh, I know that one. I know
almost
that
like
one.
a character, right?
Yes.
Like a Mickey Mouse, but it's
oh, I know Oreo.
It's Phoebe.
Like, it's Phoebe. It's Oreo. It's, you know, oh, this one happened with this.
Yes.
So we're doing a series of 5 Firefly Farm books. So our first one is Star the Smallest, and in this book we have all of our Firefly Farm friends enjoying the day. Goats are doing some yoga, horses are playing, and Farmer Nora decides to bring in a teeny tiny little duck. And this teeny tiny little duck's name is Star. And so Star is learning about making new friends on this farm, and Oreo wants to play hide and seek with Star. And so Star has never played hide and seek before, so Star is learning new things. And in the book as well, we have Dolly, who's a little worried that Star might not like her. And so, you know, Phoebe luckily reminds Dolly that, you know, as long as we're nice to our friends, they're going to like us.
Right.
And so it's a story about how, you know, Star ends up asking Dolly for some help with the hide and seek spot, and she helps her out, and Star wins hide and seek, and they're all big friends. So it's really about just, you know, it doesn't matter if you're small, big, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
you can
there's
all
underlying
be friends.
meaning behind.
Yeah,
behind
everybody
the
can
story.
be friends together, but, you know, ultimately when it comes to being friends is just being kind to one another. And then at the very end, Biscuit, the big old horse, comes in. So we've got the teeny tiny and the really big. So it's really fun. Nora and I have been working on it together. I'll kind of do like a rough draft, and then in bedtime, instead of us reading a book, I'll read it to her, and she'll give me edits or ideas on ways to change things.
Nora?
She's 8.
She's 8 years
Yep.
old. What a great way to bond with your daughter.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I'm really excited about that. So we just finished that one, and now we're starting on our second book, which is Forest Feels Left Out.
Okay.
So again, we're trying to focus a lot on just different issues and big feelings that kids have at this point, and again, just bringing it to life with the animals. So, you know, in this book, Mac comes and Coconut meet each other, and they start playing, and Forrest is feeling a little left out. So again, Dolly helps him deal with these big feelings and kind of gives him a couple options on how he can deal with the feelings. And he has to choose which one he wants to do, and he does. And in the end, instead of 2 friends, we've got 3.
Right.
So it's good. And then the one after that is talking about Dolly and her braying, which I don't know if we got on video earlier. It's very loud. And so in the book, she's a little embarrassed by it and worried about people not liking her bray. And so she is going to learn that it's okay and to be herself in that book.
Love it.
Yes.
That's awesome. If people in the community want to get more involved, whether it's through donation or whether it's through service, talk about some opportunities that people can get themselves involved in.
Yeah, so right now we have our Facebook page. That's kind of the biggest way that I'm doing things. And so if you search Firefly Farm Northeast, just because, believe it or not, there's a lot of Firefly Farms.
In my research for this, I Googled and I was like, there are several Firefly Farms going around the country.
Yeah, so
but you guys thought of it. You didn't steal anybody's idea.
It was us first.
That's right.
But yeah, so if you do Firefly Farm Northeast, you'll see our little cow and horse logo, Find Your Light. And if you follow us on there, we'll have all of our things. I try to pin up to the top kind of events that we have going on.
Okay.
We do have a couple photographers that will be doing fall and winter sessions here on the farm.
Awesome.
As well as a link to Phoenix Therapy Plus. So if you have a kiddo that's looking for some therapy and you're like, hey, I'd love to try the farm therapy, you can link with them, as well as our Revival to Recovery, their upcoming events and dates and times and stuff like that. So I try to pin that kind of stuff up to the top.
Yep.
So that way it's kind of easy to find, but you can always send me a message on Facebook, email. I have my number on there as well. Firefly Farm 455@gmail.com is our email address.
Okay.
And then I already told you about Facebook, and then the phone number is 443-314-1398.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You are doing a lot of awesome things here. And is Daisy in any of the books?
Daisy is not in any of the books yet,
Okay.
but we might have to do that.
We're going to have to get you in there. You know where to follow Firefly Farm, and you can also follow us at the Markland Advantage on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, as well as we're on TikTok. Do you guys do any TikTok?
We do TikToks too.
You
Yeah.
do TikTok.
So, and we have an Instagram too. But
Okay.
those are both linked to there. But yes, we do have a TikTok.
And please, if you think you found value here, or if somebody could benefit from coming to Firefly Farm, please share this out. And really, thank you so much for joining us today. Until next time, live your life to the fullest, and we'll see you soon. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Awesome. Did you like this episode of the TMA Connection? Well, you might want to check this one out right here. Go ahead, click it.